What a wonderful day to talk about Xbox failure. Let's start. First up is the Xbox One launch. So back in 2013, Sony came in and announced the PlayStation 4. And they talked about how it's one of the best things you'll ever see. It can run almost all the powerful games. And then comes Xbox, and they said, "We are making a new console." But most of the time, they did not even talk about games. They talked about how you can watch live TV on Xbox One. And they said you have to pay $100 extra for our console compared to the PlayStation 4. Because of Kinect technology, they bundled it with it. I mean, if someone is going to buy a gaming console, obviously the main focus is on the gaming. But Xbox, in the entire event, said live TV, watch live TV. Everyone has a TV at home. I'm not even kidding. Like, who the hell thought that? Man, I really want to watch TV, so should I get a new Xbox? It costs more than the PlayStation 4, but it has live TV, so I'm going to buy one. That was a massive blunder. And talk about charging $100 more than your rival, which was already kicking your ass. That just put a nail in the coffin. If we are talking about the Xbox One, we have to touch the Kinect. So what is a Kinect? Or should I? So basically, Kinect was a motion sensing accessory for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One consoles that allowed you to control games and media with your body and voice. It was initially a huge success because Xbox lied. It sold about 29 million units for the Xbox 360. But then people began to see through the mask. Microsoft bundled Kinect with every Xbox One console, making it $100 more expensive than the PlayStation 4. As we just talked, but the thing was that a lot of people did not want to pay extra for a device they did not use or need. Microsoft eventually dropped the Kinect requirement and started selling Xbox One consoles without it. But on top of that, Microsoft was lazy. Microsoft did not invest enough in developing quality games and apps that utilized Kinect's features. Most of the Kinect games were casual, family-friendly titles that did not appeal to the core Xbox audience. Also, Kinect's technology was not reliable or accurate enough to deliver a satisfying experience. It often had trouble recognizing voice commands, gestures, and movements, especially in low-light or noisy environments. It also required a lot of space and a clear line of sight to function properly. Basically, Xbox lied. They always do. I'm not hating, though. Remember when Xbox Series X and X were about to leave and there was an entire hype build around the next-gen thing? And they also announced a new Halo game for it and promoted it to everyone as the next generational masterpiece, better than ever. Now, one thing you should know is that not everyone loves Xbox. A lot of people hate it, but everyone does love Halo. Because it's one of the best things ever made. Simple as that. And when the Halo installation was announced, people were so excited that they even began to buy an Xbox Series S to play it. But the final product was disappointing. Now, the game wasn't completely trash. It was a fairly decent game. But it wasn't something you expect from next-gen Halo. It wasn't anything like that. It could have been a lot better. First of all, they literally murdered the story. If the story was average or below average, it should have been way better. Halo games are a unique brand of their own. It's still like the only legendary series Xbox has. PlayStation has Lord of the Rings. They have Spider-Man, God of War, and Last of Us. But Microsoft or Xbox only has Halo, and they messed up even that. And people were pissed and disappointed that this was not the Halo we wanted. It's a very generic game. I mean, it was one of the biggest blunders for Xbox. Let me take you back to OG Xbox era. The original Xbox Duke controller was a near disaster because it was too bulky and uncomfortable for most gamers, especially those with smaller hands. But it was also criticized for its poor design, such as the placement of the black and white buttons, the lack of bumpers, and the low-quality directional pad. Basically, they decided to create a messed-up version of the Sega controller. But in the end, Microsoft abandoned the Duke controller after receiving negative feedback from users and reviewers. They replaced it with a smaller, redesigned version called the Controller S, which was originally sold and bundled with the console in Japan. The Controller S had a more compact and ergonomic shape, a better directional pad, and 2 additional buttons on the shoulders, so they kind of saved themselves. The Duke controller was only compatible with the original Xbox console and was not supported by the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One. But due to Stockholm Syndrome, in 2018, a company called Hyperkin released a remake of the Duke controller for the Xbox One, with some modern features such as an LED screen, a USB cable, and left and right bumpers. The remake was licensed by Microsoft and endorsed by some of the original Xbox developers, and some people, crazy enough, still use this controller to this day. Now, That's kind of surprising to me. This one is not only a failure but also a sad one-sided love story. Xbox and Japan. Xbox is desperately trying to get a piece of the Japanese gaming market because Japan is one of the largest and most influential markets for video games in the world. Japan is also the home of many popular game developers and franchises such as Nintendo, Sony, Sega, Capcom, Square Enix, and more. Xbox wants to compete with these giants and expand its global reach and appeal, but they stink. Xbox has historically struggled to sell consoles and games in Japan because Xbox is seen as a foreign and unfamiliar brand, while PlayStation and Nintendo are more trusted and established in Japan because of the homeboy factor. Xbox is associated with Western games and genres, such as shooters, sports, and action-adventure, which are less popular in Japan than RPGs, visual novels, and puzzle games. So maybe it's time for the Halo-kun visual novel. Plus, Xbox consoles are often larger and heavier than PlayStation and Nintendo consoles, which makes them less appealing for Japanese consumers who prefer smaller and more portable devices. Yep, that's a thing. But most importantly, Xbox has failed to secure enough exclusive titles and partnerships with Japanese developers and publishers, who often prioritize the PlayStation and Nintendo platforms. But Xbox family is desperate. They have tried a lot of wizard magic, like by launching the Xbox Series S, a smaller and cheaper version of the Xbox Series X, which has been more popular than the Series X in Japan. And now, finally, they are collaborating with Japanese developers and publishers, such as Sega, Bandai Namco, Square Enix, and more, to bring their games to Xbox platforms and Game Pass. But still, facts and data don't lie. The Xbox Series XS has sold more than 260,000 units in Japan, more than doubling the lifetime sales of the Xbox One in the region. But it's still a penny compared to the PlayStation. Xbox has seen phenomenal growth, and Xbox still faces many challenges and competition in Japan, as PlayStation and Nintendo continue to dominate the market with their strong brands, loyal fan bases, and exclusive games. They have now brought the man, the myth, and the legend himself, Hideo Kojima. He is now making an Xbox exclusive game, so maybe finally Xbox might succeed. But again, you never know. Now, this one wasn't only an Xbox failure but also a Microsoft failure. Technically, all Xbox failures are Microsoft failures too. I'm talking about HoloLens. Microsoft HoloLens is a mixed reality headset that runs the Windows Mixed Reality platform under the Windows 10 operating system. It was first announced in 2015 as a revolutionary device that could blend the digital and physical worlds. Yeah, they lied. Because it did not live up to the expectations and needs of the gaming market, it was considered a failure. The history of HoloLens can be traced back to the Microsoft Kinect, an accessory for the Xbox game console that was introduced in 2010. HoloLens was the result of this exploration, and it was designed to be a standalone device that did not require a connection to a PC or a console. It used a custom processor called the Holographic Processing Unit, HPU, which handled the complex tasks of spatial mapping, gesture recognition, and voice control. It also had a high-resolution display that projected holograms onto the user's field of view. But at the end of the day, it's all about marketing. So HoloLens was initially marketed as a device for both gamers and professionals, and it promised to offer a wide range of applications, such as entertainment, education, communication, and productivity. Microsoft showcased some impressive demos of HoloLens, such as Minecraft, Halo, and Holo Studio, and it generated a lot of hype and excitement among the media and the public. But HoloLens was not compatible with Xbox One games or any other VR games, as it used a different technology called mixed reality, which was not widely supported by the game developers and publishers. But on top of that, HoloLens was too expensive and bulky for most gamers, who preferred cheaper and lighter VR headsets, such as the Oculus Rift and PlayStation VR. HoloLens cost $3,000 for the development edition and $5,000 for the commercial suite, which made it inaccessible and unaffordable for the average consumer. Basically, they were charging a gaming PC price for that shit. Also, HoloLens did not have enough games and content that were designed for mixed reality, and most of the existing games and apps were for business and education purposes. HoloLens lacked the variety and quality of games that VR headsets offered, and it did not have any killer apps that could justify its high price and low performance. As a result, HoloLens did not sell well, and it did not receive much attention or support from the gaming community. Microsoft did not reveal the exact sales figures of HoloLens, but some estimates suggest that it sold less than 50,000 units in its first year. HoloLens was also overshadowed by the rise of other mixed reality devices, such as Magic Leap 1 and Meta 2, which claim to offer better and cheaper fun. Now that's a deadly combo. But if you are thinking Microsoft gave up, you are dead wrong. Microsoft did not give up on HoloLens, and it announced a second generation of the device called HoloLens 2, but it was still expensive. Nobody wants that. So these were some of the biggest failures Xbox has ever had, and trust me, this could have been longer. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel, and I promise to see you in the next video. Take care and have a nice day.